Kevin here. I've mentioned before in other videos about how last year I started using ducks in the garden. I think there's a ton of benefits to that. They eat your cover crop, they clean up whatever's crop is left, they eat the bugs. So that's all great stuff. But it's one thing to tell people just do that. But it's another thing to show them. So my camera girl is going to show you the fence here. You can see this netting that we have up, and there's our duck coop, and this moves from whenever I move the electric netting typically. But today we want to get them into the garden because they have a special task to do. This was an awesome strawberry season, the best we've ever had back here. But the strawberries are pretty much petering out. There's a few small ones or buggy ones or smushy ones, and I want them to go in there and eat those strawberries, eat the slugs, eat any bugs, and just make use of whatever they find in that garden. Fertilizing it, and then probably have them in there about 2 weeks, and then we'll move them somewhere else, probably back out here to a different run in the grass. If you're going to do this kind of thing, you need some kind of light portable shelter. I can move this one just like this. You can see it's somewhat easy to move, but then by the time you drag it a ways, it gets a bit tiring. I thought I'd try the lawnmower. It'll be first time trying that. I'm not sure how that'll go, but we've always got the pickup truck. I think this would do it. But again, this portable shelter is super important. The ducks go in every night. I lock them in here, keep them safe from the predators. So if you have something like that going on already, just move these in the morning. Don't wait. Don't try to chase them back in here. It's great to get them in here with the food. And so we're going to get these into the garden. And now we can pull it the rest of the way into the garden. It's always kind of exciting moving the ducks to their new home. See how they're going to find just a lot of exciting new things to eat, and a lot of new vegetation. There's clover in here I wanted to knock back a little bit, and there is some tender crops. I'm going to put chicken wire to protect the amaranth. I think they'll probably wipe that out if I don't, wire that off. So I'm going to put that fencing up, temporary fencing, then release them into the strawberries. We'll show you what it looks like when they get to go out into the strawberries. Okay, I got the temporary fencing set up. You can see it right through here. And it's keeping the ducks away from these amaranth plants and allowing them to access the strawberry area. And under the elderberries here, see the coop back here. So the only part of this process that seems a little extra difficult, just a slight extra bit of work, is putting up the temporary fencing. If you have the portable coop, if you have your gardens fenced in, and you already pen your ducks or chickens in at night, this works great. Well, I wouldn't necessarily try this with chickens. I think they'll dig your strawberries out for you, which could be good if you want them to thin it. Might be worth trying. They do take a lot of thinning. So let's release the ducks, see how they like their new range. Hey, duckies! Come on, duckies! Come on, duckies!
Whoa.
These ducks are khaki Campbells mostly. The male here is, I think, a runner duck. And then the darker ones are the offspring of some different males. And looks like they're just acquainting themselves to the environment, trying to see if what they're going to like. It's always interesting to see what ducks prefer. They do okay with this sort of radish tops. Will they eat the strawberries? We don't know. They really like lamb's quarters. I noticed they would totally demolish a lamb's quarter plant, so I took to throwing lamb's quarter in for them, and they put that down. So if you got lamb's quarter around, don't be afraid to let that around for your ducks. And this is why you go to the extra work of moving them. They come into a new spot like this, and they're just happy as can be. You can see their first interest isn't in vegetation. Their first interest is rooting down in under the mulch layer, finding worms, grubs, bugs, slugs. And that's part of what makes them so good in the garden, at least I think initially, is that if you time them right, I think there's a lot that you could do with them in the garden, as bug control and fertilizer systems there. I see the male just operated as fertilizer system. I wanted to show you the result of 13 ducks on what's probably roughly 40 by 30 garden. If you remember the video when I released them in here, lush strawberries everywhere. What you have to understand is I ripped out most of these strawberries myself with the hoe and a bit of a weed whacker combination to renovate them. So I put them in here right after the strawberries were done. The ducks didn't seem to show much of an interest in the strawberry leaves. Here you can see a close-up, of one plant. I don't really see much damage there. They didn't even seem to show much interest in the strawberries themselves. They seem most interested in the bugs. You can see they did like asparagus. So you can see the asparagus heads here that they nipped the very tip off, and then it would stop growing. Now this one's shot up here, and I figured they were in here probably 3 to 4 weeks, so I'm willing to sacrifice a few asparagus tips. I think the asparagus will rebound just fine. Just moved the ducks out of here today. The ducks showed some interest in was rhubarb. You can see the state of this rhubarb. They in no means destroyed it, but they did slow it down. You can see they picked all these holes in the leaves. They ate some of it. If you look at this, you can see I don't know how much of it they ate. Interesting enough, rhubarb is supposed to be, the leaves are supposed to be poisonous. Saw no ill effects on the ducks whatsoever. The ducks on this half of the garden for probably what amounted to a week. They weren't in here enough. You can see the clover's still going strong. I didn't let them in here originally because of this amaranth, but it's up high enough I don't think it hurt anything. So overall, like the result. I was not planning to release the ducks into the corn area. It was not the original plan. I was getting ready to take them back out to pasture, but then thought there's really not a whole lot they can damage in here. The corn's way up over their heads. This is the annual cover crop mix. You can see the activity going on there. Give you a view of what this garden looks like right now. Corn heights into tassel. This is mid-July. You can see ground cover, pretty well covered. There's some bare spots where I think different covers died, but you can probably look at this again when I'm done with the ducks in here. Probably try to keep the ducks in here a month. I really want the manure going down on my gardens more than I need it in the fields. I mean, the fields could use it, but the priority is the gardens.